and by Mike Bridgeport in Black Cheer. Bob, we got a special guest in this morning.
Yep, we got Mr. Luther in.
Luther Hires.
Talk about safe kids, is that correct? Is that the topic today?
Well, child safety seats, Carol's with Safe Kids, she's going to talk about that. Our fatalities so far today, and then today's last day of summer, as you said, is 1,080. Wow, that's 33 down from last year. That's way, way too many. On our report yesterday, one of the fatalities was a 7-year-old unrestrained person, and 2 weeks ago we had an unrestrained 0 person, and that means that person had not reached their first birthday. So this is the 17th through the 23rd is National Child Safety, Passenger Safety Seat Week, and Carol's here to talk about that and some things that she's got going on.
Before we get to that, I'm curious, I've been reading legislature's coming up in January, but I saw already where some representatives are talking about pushing bills about distracted driving, doing stuff with the cell phones and restricting the cell phones. You work close with the governor's office. What are you hearing up there?
Well, those have been pushed before, but they didn't get anywhere. There's so many people that are in the legislature that makes their living and all that off of the cell phone, and you've got people that support those, and we've got people here, but cell phones is a distraction, but cell phones are not the only distraction that's in that automobile.
Right, but it seems to be a big problem.
It is a big problem.
Man,
you can tell when you get somebody behind somebody's texting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Boots. They slow down and they have trouble maintaining their lane. I can't tell you the number of times I've told my wife that one up there's texting, and they've slowed down, so we'll go around and she'll look over, and sure enough, yeah, they're taking their eye off the road.
It's one thing to be texting, driving around, say, like Wayne County, that you go to Atlanta, you get on the interstate, you're going 80 miles an hour, and they're texting. I mean, you see, that's what's scary. I mean, it's unbelievable that people are still on their phones when they're out there on the interstate.
And these phones do have phone, audio operation to them, too. They'll mic in if they wanted to do that.
That's exactly
right. If it's an emergency or whatever, but I like the slogan that y'all had, it can wait. Yeah. But that's not the society we have today. We want what we want, when we want it, when we give the information we want to give it, we want to receive it when we want it.
That's true. The bills that were talked about last year it's actually hands-free. Is what it is.
Hands-free, yeah. You can just get your phone set up there and say, call Bill or text Bill. It'll come up, and then you can say what you want. And
exactly.
Most of the time, the phone gets it right, but sometimes it doesn't. Well, you got to talk very clearly, very plainly, very simply for that phone to understand you.
Yeah, sometimes I send a text message to my wife, and she'll say, what? And I'll look at it, and the phone has corrected what I was trying to say.
It's funny. I always got to rebind back over again.
Even if you Bluetooth your cell phone, though, that's still a distraction. I like the slogan, just drive. Just drive. But,
Just be interested if it gets any traction this time, because like I said, it's just something that has to be addressed, and hopefully they'll address it. But
distracting driving fatalities and crashes are almost where they're equal impaired driving now.
Yeah, it is bad as impaired driving with folks texting, using their cell phones in the car. Basically, as she mentioned, either audio, texting, whatever your case may be. But that's a very, very difficult habit to overcome, where people get so used to be able to have an instant communication with people, either by texting or calling when they're in their cars and trucks and SUVs. But you're traveling down the road anywhere from, let's say, 20 to 80 miles an hour, 20 to 60 miles an hour. How far do you go? How many feet do you go, let's say, in just a few seconds at 60 miles an hour, Luther?
If it's 5 miles per hour, what the experts have told us, at 55 miles per hour, the 2 seconds or so that you look at that phone, you will travel the length of a football field.
Yeah. Okay.
55.
All right.
If you are under 18 years old, you're not supposed to be on your cell phone whatsoever.
Okay.
So
introduce yourself, Carol, and who you're with and everything.
All right, I'm Carol Irvin. I'm with Safe Kids Wayne County, which is a non-profit injury prevention for children under 19, and it operates through the Wayne County Sheriff's Office and EMA.
And you're here today to talk about what?
National Child Passenger Safety Week. It's a week every September where we just try to raise awareness for different things. You know, we want children riding in cars to get from A to B just like everybody else's safety. And you don't, want to meet that distracted driver one day and find out that you didn't have your child buckled in that car seat correctly.
Okay. Now, tell us about the car seats and the buckling in, and what people can do to make sure that they're in there correctly, because there's so many different kinds of them.
So a lot of people think that you can, the more money you spend on a car seat, the safer your child is going to be, and that's not correct. What you want to do is you want to look for a car seat that's appropriate for your child's age, height, weight, and make sure that that car seat actually fits your vehicle. I could have a car seat in my vehicle that fits perfectly, but when I move it to your car, it may not fit in there properly for different reasons. And when you do purchase a car seat, make sure you turn in the little card that comes with it that registers that seat, because very often there's recalls. Right now I have 19 pages of recalls on car seats that are still current.
Wow.
19 pages on them.
Are there any assistance out there for folks as they go, they take a look at that car seat and it's $60, $70, $50? Any assistance at all for folks out there with car seats that can't afford to go get a car seat at that time?
Yes, there's a program in Georgia that operates through, it's actually funded by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and it's a grant which goes through Department of Public Health. And most counties in Georgia have a program like that, and in Wayne County it goes through Safe Kids, you have to be, the family would have to be financially eligible, so the child would be on Peach Care, WIC, Medicaid, that kind of thing. Yes. And they can contact myself at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, 427-5986, or they can actually contact the Wayne County Health Department.
Okay, Wayne County Health Department or Carol Urban with the Sheriff's Department. What else do you need to talk about? You got several sheets out there. What's on your agenda this morning?
Well, it's, like I said, National Child Passenger Safety Week, and so what we want to do is make sure that you have your child, or the child is in the correct seat for their age. Sometimes when you go to purchase the seat, your child, you might be looking for a seat that's appropriate for a 30-pound child, but you don't want to put that child in a booster seat, even though they are within that weight and height limit. So it's age appropriate. So you want to keep your child rear facing if it's an infant until it maxes out the limits. There's labels on the car seats, and it's going to tell you can rear face from 5 pounds, say, to 40 pounds, and then forward face. And there's so many, there's so many different variations out there, and that's what we're here to help. If somebody has a question, they can call me, they can come by, make an appointment. And tomorrow I'm going to be at Walmart in the afternoon from 2 till 4, and people can come by there and we can check the car seat, make sure it's not recalled, make sure it's not expired, and generally make sure that it's in the vehicle properly. You don't want a car seat installed loose, so it moves. If it moves more than an inch side to side, you haven't got it in there tight enough. Front to back, same thing. If it moves more than an inch, it needs to be tighter. The child needs to be properly strapped in, and the harness needs to be, if they're in a harness seat, needs to be snug. And the law in Georgia says the child has to be in a car seat or booster seat until they turn 8 years old, but you can keep your child in a booster seat longer than that. We like them to be in a car seat or booster seat until they're 4'9", 57 inches, because that's the point where the car seat will fit them correctly. The seat belt will fit them. Fit them correctly.
So Safe Kids of Wayne County with Carol Urban will be out in Walmart tomorrow, Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You can just drive up. They'll have their, you're going to be set up at the doors there going in?
Yes, kind of where they, during the spring, where they set up with the plants and...
Okay, over that area. Yes. You'll see them there, and you can just drive up and they can check your car seat, car seats for your kids.
And if that's not convenient, they can call me and I'll work around people's schedule. Just call 427-5986 and make an appointment with me anytime.
All right. Anything else, Carol?
I think that's it.
All right, safe kids, and so this they're just encouraging folks out there to make sure that your kids are safe inside that vehicle. If you're in there with your kids, no texting, no calling, unless you can have the hands-free calling, and then also making sure they're buckled in correctly for their age, for their size. And if you have any questions at all about your car seats that you may have, you can call Carol. She can let you know where they're recalled, and they can also make sure that car seats buckled in correctly. Luther, what else?
That's it.
That is it. Bob, any more questions for Luther or Carol this morning?
Like I said, just appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome. Just remind folks to slow down, buckle up, put down the cell phones, and drive sober.
Okay.
They used to have the signs, not the signs, but they had those flashing things about how many people and seatbelt usage things. I haven't seen those around lately. What happened to those?
Were the signs?
Remember they used to have a thing, and you used to drive around town, and you would tell you how many people were using your seat. They did a seatbelt survey, and they would tell you how many people in Wayne County were using seatbelts. I don't see those anymore. Where are those at?
They're still out there, but
They haven't been updated, have they, lately? The green signs, they're just a regular green signs, and they're coming into the town and stuff like that.
Well, the truth of the matter is, Butch, is I've done some surveys, and I don't want to move. I just hate to take the numbers of their down and put up the ones that that I've got, because the numbers is going to come down.
Oh, wow. And that's amazing, because, you're as drivers today, and the younger ones and the millennials, they grew up with that, where my generation, we didn't grow up with having to be have a seatbelt on, or in a car seat or anything like that. It's amazing we were surviving. I mean, we used to get up in the back of the window thing up there and lay up there and have my two brothers and sisters, the four of us packed along the back seat there in the car, and none of us buckled in, and all fighting who's going to get the window seat and that kind of stuff. So the younger generation today is used to growing up, being in the seatbelt, being in a car seat. So you think that their numbers from millennials on down would be up.
Well, I'm going to attempt to quote Director Blackwood, and something that he said at one of our Hands Across the Border is, you're 18, 25, 30 years old, you're old enough to make decisions, and if you make the decision to break the law and not wear a seatbelt, that's on you. But these children, they're not old enough to make decisions, and adults have got to make decisions for them. And the law says they got to be in a seat. And what the public needs to understand is that reckless driving in Georgia is reckless disregard for the safety of persons or property. That's what reckless driving is.
Okay.
And not putting a child in a child safety seat and that child dying or being on that cell phone, as Bob was talking about, with distracted driving. A person could wind up 3 to 15 years in state penitentiary.
So it is illegal. A person is breaking the law. It's illegal if you don't have age-appropriate and weight-appropriate children in the correct car seats. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right. So you could be paying a big fine, spend some time in prison, whatever the case may be. Huh?
First offense for not restraining a child in a child safety seat is $50. 1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
$50.
Second
1 point.
Yeah. Second offense is $100. 2 points.
Okay.
The way the law is written, it says that the child must be in a car seat or booster seat until they turn 8 years old. That's Georgia. If you go to Tennessee, it's 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different states, different ages. But the way it's written is you have to put your child in that seat as per the manufacturer's instructions.
Okay.
So if the manufacturer says you have to have that seat rear facing, and you don't, you turn the child, you could get a ticket for that.
So the fines, the fines that you were talking about a moment is just if the policeman happened to see it. It doesn't take an effect if the child is injured or killed if they're not in the car seat, right? Yours is just for the $50 and the $100. If they just happen to ride, if they see you like that, they're going to fine you.
In that case.
Yeah, okay. The main thing to do is, we all need to do this because we're all guilty of it. When you're in a vehicle, you're in there to drive, okay? To get yourself from point A to point B safely. But so many of us today, we're all guilty of it, is talking on the phone, texting on the phone, and doing things that are just not correct. And, we just need to all think about that and try to implement it.
Correct.
All right. Thanks for coming in. And we got another guest out there in the green room. We'll have on in just a moment here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Get yours today. The WIFO WLOP football pocket schedule. Keep up with the complete football schedules for Wayne County Yellow Jackets, Georgia Southern Eagles, University of Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, Atlanta Falcons, and Jacksonville Jaguars. The Big Dog Country and Fox Sports Radio football pocket schedules are free and are available at Jones Drugs and Jones Prescription Shop, Jessup Western Sizzlin', David's Clothing, Interstate Credit Union, Murphy's Builder Supply, Neesmith Chevy Buick GMC, and Kitchen Tune-Up located inside your Jessup Sears store. Pick up your free WIFO WLOP football pocket schedule at any of those locations. That way you'll know what's going on each and every football weekend. Your sports leaders for Southeast Georgia, Big Dog Country, WIFO 105.5 FM, and Fox Sports Radio, WLOP 1370 AM The Buzz. Bringing you exciting live play-by-play football action all season long. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, 105.5 FM, world-famous Butch and Bob Show for this Thursday morning, 21st day of September. And we've got another guest in this morning. Good morning.
Hey there.
All right, just introduce yourself and who you're with, okay?
All right, my name's Chris Hunt. I'm with House of Worship and Ministries in Jessup. I'm the youth pastor there.
Okay, Chris Hunt and House of Worship and Ministries on Lanesbridge Road next to Satella EMC there. Y'all got a big event coming up tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. We got Eddie James is coming. He's going to be performing at the church, and all ages are welcome. He primarily works with youth, so it's going to be a really good event for young kids, especially high schoolers, teenagers. They're going to really enjoy it.
All right, it's just open to anyone to be able to come. Of course, there's no charge or anything like that. Y'all sent me the bio on Eddie James, and I could only put just a small part of it in the ad. He is amazing at what he has accomplished. He is, a worldwide figure when it comes to the faith of Christianity.
Yes, absolutely. He's been featured on Fox News, Oprah Winfrey, many different news avenues, stuff like that, but also a lot of different churches. He's collaborated with Bethel Music, which is a huge name in Christian worship. He's collaborated with Karen Wheaton, and even Joel Osteen in Lakewood. I think it's Lakewood.
Right.
Things like that. I mean, he's been all over the place, and he's collaborated with a lot of big name musicians and stuff. But he himself has a big name for himself.
Yeah, he sings.
Yeah.
He composes. He produces, and he writes songs for a lot of the top songs that have been on the charts, in the gospel charts and the Christianity charts, Christian charts. He's written, and he does all that. I mean, he's very versatile, and then he's got a great testimony, he also ministers and preaches. He's got a full life, I can tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. He also does a really great work. I mean, beyond his music and his ministry there, he also does a lot with his DNA, discipleship in art. He does like discipleship with kids on the streets that are dealing with violence in the streets, drug addiction, and gang activity and stuff like that. He does a lot of work in that area, raising up young people and a new generation. So.
Right. He does so much of that. He's got the foundations. He's got different organizations that he either leads or part of. Eddie James tomorrow, beginning at what time at House of Worship?
7 p.m.
It's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. There's no, of course, you go into church, there's no admission charge or anything like that. So you just go in there and experience one of the top names in the Christian faith today is Eddie James. I did not really heard much of him until y'all sent me that bio, and I'm saying, man, this guy's something else.
yeah.
This guy's something else. We're lucky to have him to come to little old Jessup, Georgia.
Absolutely. So we're planning on having a good time. I think he's bringing a dance crew, so it's going to be a really big to-do about the stuff that he's got going on. The kids are going to love it, but like I said, it's available for all ages. Many people have heard his music in their church, and I'm sure they'd love to come too.
Okay, and so he's for adults, but also mainly for children. So all age groups will enjoy Eddie James.
That's right.
Google him. Go through Yahoo. Put in Eddie James and look at all the stuff that this man has done and is doing right now to help the youth of this country and also the adults. It's amazing. 7 p.m. tomorrow night, House of Worship and Ministries, located on Lanesbridge Road here in Jessup, next to Satilla EMC. Pastor Mickey wasn't able to be here this morning. He's involved with some other activities this morning. But we appreciate you coming this morning and telling us a little bit more about Eddie James being tomorrow night at House of Worship and Ministries on Lanesbridge Road here in Jessup. Anything else?
No, sir.
That's
Thanks for
it?
having me.
Yeah, you said you wouldn't take long. We just wanted to go into it a little bit. All right. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, world famous Butch and Bob show. Here we are on this. You just out the door there and bye-bye. I'm not taking a break right here because we're about to wrap up the show here. So tell me what this Appling County situation is when it comes to football.
Well, like I said, they have a contract every 2 years. You got to renew the contract, and Coach Lindsay didn't seem to want to, after the game, want to renew the contract. Indicate he's going to try to get somebody else to fill that contract, but that decision has been finalized. So hopefully, calmer heads will prevail and they'll understand the financial impact of that rivalry, the history of that rivalry, and hopefully another 2-year contract will be signed. Coach Crick would like to see continue. I'm sure Wayne County officials and Appling County officials like to see it continue as well. So,
well, I think Superintendent of Wayne County needs to be talking to the Superintendent of Appling County and say, listen, we've had the years where Appling County's been dominant. We've had the years where Wayne County's been dominant. We've had the years where it's bounced back and forth between winning and losing. You should make a decision after it's one ball game.
Right. Well, like I said, maybe it's just the situation after the game. Like I said, hopefully he'll, have, after people talk to him and he realizes that, like I said, it's more about a game. It's about finances.
It's about money. It's border war. It's the big game.
I'm sure after the game was played at Appling County, I'm sure after he sees the gate receipts and the concession stand and the revenue that Appling County made on that football game, he might have second thoughts. So, that's what the non-region schedule's about. The non-region schedule's about finding quality opponents and rival games and financial. You can't do anything about your region schedule. The region
can't do anything about it.
Georgia High School Association says they tell you what region you're in. You have to play South Effingham, State Spur, where that's a given.
Right.
But your non-region schedule is flexible, and you can go pick and choose what teams you want to play. But Wayne County, Appling County has been a rivalry and a game that's been on the schedule for as long as I've been here. I've been here 35 years.
I know. It's been a long time. Big game.
Big game. We still joke about the Dexter Carter game where he just ran up down the field and the kid went fired all night. Still have a headache. Still, my rays are still ringing. But it's just been some great games in the past. Like I said, it ebbs and flows. So hopefully that contract will be renewed and they'll continue that rivalry. So we got a lot of listeners in Appling County. If you're listening, please call your school. Please call Lindsay. Please, because I think the Appling County fans enjoy the game as much as the Wayne County fans.
Oh, yeah, there's so many families that are intermingled between the two counties. You got people from Wayne County that work over there, Appling County work people over here. It's, I would say of all the games that we have each year, it's probably our biggest rival game. And, we try to keep those kind of games where people want to go to on non-region with Appling and Pierce and Glen Academy and Brunswick. The ones that we have a lot of interest in, and a lot of folks want to show up and see it. And a lot of connections between the counties.
Plus, it's not a long trip, you don't have to travel 3-4 hours, So,
no, just right across the county line.
So, like Coach Cripp said, you'd hate to see it leave. It's kind of like the Georgia Tech game in collegiate level. So, hopefully, calmer heads will prevail and they'll renew that contract for eons.
Okay, all you Appling County listeners out there, we know we have a lot of them. Call the coach, call the school superintendent, call the high school, Appling County High School principal, and say, hey, we want to keep that for y'all over there, the Appling County Wayne County game. We want to keep it over here. All right. Anything else, Bob?
Softball game today, big game against State Spur. Hopefully a good crowd.
Okay, and that starts at what time at Barbara Softball Field? 6 o'clock. All right. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, world famous Butch and Bob.